In a vast room filled with bright lights and strange sounds, representatives from many alien species gathered for an important meeting. The grand hall of the Galactic Council was a sight to behold. Colorful banners hung from the walls, and the air buzzed with excitement and tension. Among the guests was Princess Zarina of the Valerians, known for her beauty and intelligence. She stood tall, her blue skin shimmering under the lights, her long hair cascading down her back like a waterfall of stars. As the princess prepared to speak, she noticed a small group of humans sitting in the corner. They were dressed in plain clothes, looking uncomfortable in the fancy hall. The humans were invited as observers, but many aliens thought they were not important. Among them was a little girl named Lily, no older than 8. She had bright eyes filled with wonder, and her small hands fidgeted with the fabric of her dress. Zarina couldn't help but feel a mix of annoyance and curiosity toward the child. As the meeting began, Zarina spoke about her people's achievements, explaining the importance of unity among species. She expected everyone to pay close attention, but her eyes kept drifting to Lily. The girl seemed so out of place, yet so curious. She was not afraid to look directly at the princess, which was unusual for a human. Most humans avoided eye contact, showing their discomfort in such grand gatherings. Suddenly, in the middle of Zarina's speech, she caught Lily's gaze. The child was staring at her with an intense focus, as if trying to understand every word. It was both surprising and unsettling. Zarina cleared her throat and continued, but her mind wandered. Why was this human child so interested in her? After the meeting, as delegates mingled, Zarina saw Lily sitting alone, drawing something on a piece of paper. Intrigued, she walked over. "What are you drawing, little one?" she asked, trying to keep her voice gentle. Lily looked up, her face lighting up with a smile. "I'm drawing you, Your Highness. You look like a queen from a story I read." Her voice was clear and confident, surprising Zarina even more. "A story?" Zarina asked, kneeling to get closer to the child's drawing. It showed a beautiful princess with a long gown standing in a field of stars. "What is the story about?" "It's about friendship between worlds," Lily replied, her eyes sparkling with excitement. The princess helps a lost traveler find their way home, and they become best friends. Zarina felt a warmth in her heart. "That is a lovely story. You have a wonderful imagination." Lily giggled. "Thank you, but it's not just a story. I think it can happen in real life, too." Zarina paused, considering the child's words. "Do you believe that friendship can unite different worlds?" "Yes," Lily exclaimed. "If we talk and listen to each other, we can be friends, even if we are different." Zarina was taken aback. She had never met a human child who spoke with such wisdom. Most believed humans were simple-minded, but here was a child showing deep understanding. Before Zarina could respond, a group of alien dignitaries approached. They whispered among themselves, pointing at Lily and giggling. "Why is the princess talking to that human child?" One alien sneered. "Humans are so beneath us." Zarina felt a surge of anger. "Do not judge her based on her species. She speaks with a clarity I admire." The aliens laughed louder, but Zarina turned her back to them, focusing on Lily. She could feel the child's energy, full of potential. In that moment, she realized this little human might change everything. As the meeting concluded and the delegates began to leave, Zarina knew her life would never be the same. She had found a spark of hope in a child's words. Little did she know, their meeting would set off a series of events that could unite their worlds in a way no one could have imagined. The next day, the Galactic Council was buzzing with excitement. Everyone was talking about the surprising friendship between Princess Zarina and the human child, Lily. Some found it amusing, while others were curious. They wondered how a child from a so-called lesser species could catch the attention of a powerful princess. Zarina arrived at the council hall, determined to speak with Lily again. She needed to understand what made this child so special. The hall was filled with delegates from various planets, and they were discussing the future of intergalactic relations. As Zarina took her seat, she searched the crowd for Lily. Finally, she spotted the girl sitting quietly at the back of the hall, her bright eyes wide with wonder as she listened to the speeches. Zarina's heart swelled with a mixture of pride and protectiveness. After the initial speeches, the council allowed for open discussions. Zarina noticed some delegates whispering among themselves, their eyes glancing toward Lily. They seemed skeptical, treating the child as if she didn't belong there. Just as Zyrina was about to stand and speak out, the alien representative from the planet Korthos took the floor. "We should be careful with our alliances," he said, his voice booming. "Humans have nothing to offer. They are simple and uneducated." Anger flared within Zyrina. "That is not true," she exclaimed, rising from her seat. "This human child, Lily, is more knowledgeable than many of you realize. She deserves our respect." The room fell silent, and all eyes turned to Lily. Zyrina's heart raced as she gestured for the child to come forward. "Lily, would you share your thoughts on our discussions?" The little girl stood up, her face flushing with both excitement and fear. She walked to the front of the hall, looking up at the towering alien delegates. Taking a deep breath, she spoke. "I think every culture has something valuable to share. Just because humans look different doesn't mean we don't have knowledge or skills." Some delegates exchanged glances, surprised by her courage. "We may not have advanced technology, but we have stories and traditions that are just as important. Understanding each other can help us avoid wars and build friendships." Zyrina watched in awe as Lily spoke. The child was so confident and wise, her voice clear and steady. The princess could see that the council members were beginning to listen. Suddenly, a loud voice interrupted. What could a child know about our cultures? It was an older alien with wrinkled skin and a sharp tongue. "Humans have no history worth telling." But before he could continue, Lily responded quickly. "Actually, I do know something. I studied Valyrian history and legends. Your people believe in a great unity that once existed among the stars. I learned that your ancestors had many alliances with different species." "That shows you can be friends." A murmur rippled through the audience. Zyrina felt her heart pound with excitement. Lily was not just speaking, she was challenging the very foundation of the aliens' beliefs. Then, to everyone's shock, Lily began to speak in perfect Valyrian, recounting an ancient story about two alien races that overcame their differences and created a powerful alliance. Her words flowed like a river, each phrase rich with meaning and passion. Zyrina's eyes widened. "She speaks our language fluently," she thought. The delegates listened intently, their skepticism fading away as they became captivated by the child's story. When Lily finished, the hall erupted in applause. Zyrina felt tears of joy welling up in her eyes. She couldn't believe the transformation happening right before her. The child had opened their eyes to the possibilities of unity. "Thank you, Lily," Zyrina said, stepping forward to hug the girl. "You have shown us all that wisdom can come from the most unexpected places." The council members, once doubtful, began to realize that this human child held a power they had underestimated. In that moment, Zyrina knew their bond was more than just a friendship. It was a bridge between their worlds. As the applause faded, Zyrina turned to face the council. "We must learn from Lily's words. Our future depends on understanding and respecting each other, no matter our differences." Lily's heart raced with joy. She had never expected her words to make such an impact. Standing beside Zyrina, she felt proud and hopeful for what was to come. After the council meeting, a buzz of excitement filled the air. The delegates spoke about Lily and her surprising talent. Princess Zyrina felt proud of the little girl. She knew Lily had changed the way many aliens viewed humans. Zyrina found herself looking for Lily everywhere. She wanted to understand this remarkable child more. After the meeting, she invited Lily to join her for a special lunch in the palace gardens. The gardens were beautiful, filled with colorful flowers and exotic plants from different worlds. Zyrina led Lily through the lush greenery, pointing out the unique flora. "This plant can only grow under the light of 3 suns," she explained, her voice filled with pride. Lily listened carefully, her eyes wide with wonder. "It's so beautiful. I wish I could show you the flowers from my home. They bloom in all colors of the rainbow," she said excitedly. As they sat down at a table decorated with vibrant fruits and delicacies, Zyrina watched Lily eat. The child savored each bite, her eyes sparkling with delight. "Do you like the food?" Zyrina asked, smiling. "It's amazing. I've never tasted anything like it," Lily replied, her mouth full of sweet fruit. "But I think I would love to try cooking something for you one day." Zyrina laughed. "I would love to taste your cooking. What do humans eat? We have many dishes, but my favorite is pasta with tomato sauce. It's simple but delicious," Lily explained. The princess could see that the child's enthusiasm was contagious. As they continued to talk, Zyrina learned more about Lily's life on Earth. The girl shared stories about her family, her school, and her friends. She spoke with such joy that Zirina felt her heart warm. In return, Zyrina shared stories of her own childhood, filled with adventures in the royal palace and tales of Valyrian legends. Lily listened closely, her eyes wide with fascination. "You've had such an exciting life," she exclaimed. "I can't believe you met a dragon. That sounds amazing." Zirina smiled, recalling her childhood adventures. "Not all dragons are fierce. Some are friendly and wise, like the one I met. They can teach us many things if we listen carefully." As their conversation flowed, Zirina felt a strong bond growing between them. It was a friendship that transcended their differences. Lily had an innocence and wisdom that reminded Zyrina of the purity of childhood. Days turned into weeks, and the two spent more time together. They explored the palace, visited the gardens, and shared stories in Valyrian and English. Each day, Zyrina grew more amazed by Lily's intelligence and curiosity. The princess began to see the world through the child's eyes. One afternoon, they decided to explore the ancient library of the palace. It was filled with scrolls and books from many species. "This is where we keep our history," Zyrina explained, leading Lily through the tall shelves. Lily's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Can we read some stories together?" she asked eagerly. Zyrina nodded, pulling out a large, beautifully illustrated book. "This one tells the tale of our ancestors' journey through the stars," she said, flipping through the pages. As they read, Zyrina noticed how Lily absorbed every word. The child's questions were insightful, and her enthusiasm was contagious. "Why did they fight?" Lily asked, her voice serious. "Couldn't they just talk it out?" Zyrina paused, considering the question. "Sometimes fear and misunderstanding can lead to conflict. But if we learn to communicate and listen, we can avoid such battles." Lily nodded, her small face thoughtful. "Just like how we are friends now, right? We talk and share, and that makes us stronger." Zyrina smiled, feeling a warmth in her heart. "Exactly, Lily. You have a gift for understanding others." As the sun began to set, casting a golden light through the library windows, Zyrina realized how much she had come to cherish their time together. The bond between the princess and the human child was growing deeper, bridging the gap between their worlds. Little did they know, their friendship would soon be tested in ways they could not imagine. The connection they had formed would play a crucial role in the challenges to come. As the bond between Princess Zyrina and Lily grew, not everyone in the Galactic Council was pleased. Some delegates watched their friendship with jealousy and suspicion. They whispered among themselves, worried that the humans might gain influence in the council. One evening, as Zyrina and Lily played in the gardens, a shadowy figure lurked in the background. It was Delegate Thalos, a powerful representative from the planet Zentar. He had always been against humans and viewed them as a threat. Thalos had a plan. He believed that if he could create a conflict between the Valyrians and humans, he could strengthen his own power in the council. He knew that the friendship between Zyrina and Lily was a weakness he could exploit. That night, Thalos summoned his closest allies for a secret meeting. "We must act quickly," he said, his voice low and serious. "Zyrina's friendship with the human child is a danger to us. If we let it continue, the humans may influence our decisions." One of the delegates, a tall, green-skinned alien named Vora, nodded. "But how can we break their bond? The princess seems very fond of the girl." Thalos grinned, revealing sharp teeth. "We will use their friendship against them. If we can make the princess believe that humans are plotting against her, she will turn against them." The next day, as Zyrina and Lily walked through the palace, Thalos approached them with a concerned expression. "Your Highness, I must speak with you," he said, his voice dripping with false sincerity. "What is it, Delegate Thalos?" Zyrina asked, her eyes narrowing. "I have received troubling news about the humans," he said, glancing at Lily. "Some believe that they are planning to take over the council. You must be careful. This child is a spy." Zyrina hesitated, feeling a swirl of emotions. She wanted to trust Lily, but Thalos's words planted seeds of doubt in her mind. "I need to think," she said, her voice shaky. After Thalos left, Lily looked up at Zyrina, her face filled with confusion. "Do you believe him, Princess?" "I would never hurt you or your people." Zyrina knelt down to meet Lily's gaze. "I don't want to believe him, but he is powerful. Many in the council fear humans. I need to protect you and our friendship." Lily's eyes filled with tears. "But I'm not a threat! I just want to be your friend." We can show them that humans and Valyrians can work together. Zyrina's heart ached at the sight of Lily's distress. She wanted to reassure her, but doubt lingered. "We will figure this out," she promised, trying to sound strong. "But we must be careful." As the days passed, Thalos continued to stir trouble. He spread rumors among the council members, claiming that humans were planning to take over the galaxy. Many delegates began to question Zyrina's judgment in befriending Lily. One day, a meeting was called to discuss the growing concerns. Thalos stood before the council, his voice loud and commanding. "We cannot ignore the threat posed by the humans any longer. They seek to gain power through deception and manipulation." Zyrina felt her heart race as she listened. "This is not true," she shouted, standing up. "Lily is not a threat. She has shown us nothing but kindness and understanding." But Thalos pressed on, his eyes sharp as he scanned the room. "Are you willing to risk everything for a child you barely know? Think of your people!" The tension in the room grew thick. Zyrina's mind raced as she considered Thalos's words. She felt trapped between loyalty to her friend and the pressure of the council. Lily, sitting quietly in the back, listened with growing fear. She had never felt so alone. "Why don't they believe us?" she whispered to herself, tears brimming in her eyes. As the meeting continued, Zyrina vowed to protect Lily. But in the back of her mind, she wondered if Thalos's words were rooted in truth. Would their friendship survive the challenges ahead? In that moment, the princess knew that she had to uncover Thalos's true intentions. The stakes were higher than ever, and the bond between her and Lily would be tested like never before. The council chamber was tense. Delegates murmured among themselves, their eyes flickering between Princess Zyrina and Delegate Thalos. The air felt heavy with suspicion, and Zyrina knew they were on the brink of a decision that could change everything. Zyrina took a deep breath, her heart pounding. She stood tall, determined to defend Lily and their friendship. "You are all speaking out of fear," she declared, her voice strong. "We should not judge humans based on rumors and lies. Lily is my friend, and she has shown us the true meaning of unity." Thalos smirked, his eyes glinting with malice. "But can you trust her? What if she is a pawn in a larger game?" he challenged. "Do you really want to risk the safety of your people for a child?" Zyrina felt her resolve wavering, but she glanced toward Lily, who was sitting quietly in the back. The child looked scared, her eyes filled with uncertainty. At that moment, Zyrina knew she had to take a stand, not just for herself, but for the future of both their worlds. "Lily is not a pawn," Zyrina said fiercely. "She is a child with a big heart. Together, we can learn from each other and build a better future." Some delegates nodded, but others looked unconvinced. The council was split, and Zyrina knew they needed evidence to back up her claims. "I propose a challenge," she said, her voice gaining strength. "Let us bring a human delegation to the council. We will listen to their perspective and decide together if they are a threat." Gasps echoed around the room. Thalos scowled but couldn't deny the merit of Zyrina's idea. "Very well," he said grudgingly. "But if they fail to impress us, we will have no choice but to act against them." Zyrina felt a surge of hope. "Thank you. I will arrange for a delegation to visit," she promised. After the meeting, Zyrina rushed to find Lily, who was sitting alone, her small hands clasped together nervously. "Lily!" Zyrina called, kneeling beside her. "I need your help. I want to invite a human delegation to the council. We need to show them that humans are not a threat." Lily looked up, her eyes wide. "But what if they don't believe us? What if they don't want to come?" "We will make them see," Zyrina replied, feeling determination rise within her. "We will show them our friendship, and they will understand." The two began to plan. Zyrina suggested they write a message to Earth, inviting a group of humans to the council. Lily was excited to be a part of this important mission. "I can help with the message. I know many humans who will support us," she said eagerly. As they worked together, their bond deepened even more. Zyrina admired Lily's enthusiasm and passion. The little girl had a way of seeing the best in people, even when the odds were against them. After days of planning, they sent the message through a special communication device. Soon they received a reply from Earth. A group of diplomats and scientists was willing to visit the Galactic Council to meet with Zyrina and Lily. When the day of the meeting arrived, the council chamber was filled with anticipation. Delegates from various planets gathered, and whispers filled the air. Zyrina stood beside Lily, feeling nervous but hopeful. Finally, the doors opened and the human delegation entered. There were scientists, diplomats, and a few representatives from Earth's government. Zyrina's heart raced as she watched them take their seats. "Thank you all for being here," Zyrina began, addressing the council and the human delegates. "Today we begin a new chapter. We are here to learn from each other and build a future together." The human leader stepped forward. "We appreciate your invitation. We come in peace and wish to share our knowledge and culture with you." As the discussions unfolded, Zyrina watched the delegates from both sides engage. They shared stories, asked questions, and slowly began to build trust. Lily sat among them, her eyes bright with excitement as she listened and participated. The meeting lasted for hours, but as it progressed, the atmosphere shifted. Delegates began to see the humans not as a threat, but as allies. Zyrina felt a sense of relief wash over her. Finally, Thalos stood up, his expression unreadable. "I see now that perhaps we have judged too quickly," he said, his voice steady. "Maybe we should give this alliance a chance." Cheers erupted in the council chamber, and Zyrina felt a wave of joy. They had achieved something incredible. The bond between humans and Valyrians was now stronger than ever. As the meeting concluded, Zyrina and Lily exchanged smiles. They had faced challenges, but together they had opened the door to a bright future. Zyrina knew this was just the beginning of a wonderful friendship, one that would shape their worlds for years to come. In that moment, they both understood that their connection was not just about two individuals, it was about forging an alliance that could change the galaxy.